Okay.
Yep. Great. Recording. Okay, ready? Let's have fun.
Okay.
All right. People are coming in. Welcome, everyone. Sayan, hello. Welcome, everyone. I know I just sent out a quick message to let you know this would be recorded, but I do encourage you, if you're able to put your cameras on, that's lovely. If not, we also understand. Welcome, everyone. Joining, please drop in the chat where you're coming in from and what brought you here today would be great. Hello, hello. Alexa's here live coming in from the gallery. Thank you all. Welcome. Let's see. Just like two quick disclaimers. It's freezing in my studio, so I have a scarf on, and it's really hot in the gallery space. So
And I
there's
have
for
my
everyone.
sunglasses on my head because I might need to put them on.
It's great to see everyone. I think I've got a couple more people coming in, but thank you for being here on time. So, y'all, this is intentionally like lunch side or whatever time of day it is by you, a middle of the night for my one friend here. Intentionally, we're going to stay on track about 35 to 40 minutes max. We'll end. So, we just really appreciate you being here. The intention is in the spirit of Alexa and I and our relationship and this particular show and your time to keep bite-sized, just to kind of get to know one another, see work, and make it something that we can interact. Hey, baby, there we go. We got all ages here. So my name is Lesly Deschler Canossi. I'm so honored that you all are taking the time. I'm here with Alexa Mazzarello she's in her exhibition space in the Ottawa Art Gallery. And I think, I keep getting notices. I'm sorry. I just want to say that Alexa and I briefly, the run of show will be, we're going to do a quick intro. Alexa's in her space. She's going to walk around in the space and share the different pieces. There's nine pieces total in this very beautiful and challenging exhibition space. I also want to take the screen just for a moment at some point early on and show the early work of Failure to Progress, which is this body of work, which started off as a photographic project primarily, in both a kind of fine art, poetic, and a documentary practice space. So what I'm hoping today with Alexa, we have this beautiful opportunity with her that she can kind of walk us through this show, but also that transition from this more traditional photographic approach into this material approach now, which is really exciting. So I'm talking a lot. Please use the chat. Let us know where you're coming in from. Please ask questions in the chat, and then we'll reserve a couple minutes at the end for like a checkout. Does anybody have any questions, comments? Everybody's good? Okay. So this is being recorded. So Alexa, welcome. Thank you for like this, putting the cell phone on a stand and not doing a traditional artist talk, but welcome. And how
You?
are you?
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Great. Sorry, I missed what you said, Leslie. Did you turn it over to me?
Well, kind of. So you and I met in 2022
Yeah.
and I have a course called
Yeah.
Mother of Artists, which was a short, like 6 or 8 week course. And you and I met in that. You came in so strong with this really polished photographic body of work called Failure to Progress. And you shared with us the origins of that. And over that time, you and I have stayed in touch in various capacities, which I just want to highlight this kind of collective and mutual care that exists between us and also the artists that we work with. You're in a collective, I'm in a photographic collective.
Yeah.
So I just want to also just publicly really thank you for the support that you've given me and what I'm doing. And I'm so happy to feature your
Yeah.
work any way I can for this relationship. Um,
Same.
yeah, thank you. So if you want to just talk to us briefly about your early work, the origins of this, I'll share a
Yeah.
couple of images and then we'll pivot back to you.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's very generous for you to say that that work was polished because in 2022, at the time that I joined your course, Henry would have been so like my son, and the sort of impetus for this whole body of work, which began with his very traumatic birth. He was only about 6 or 7 months at that point. So I had basically a traumatic C-section in the height of COVID, and I started taking photographs and making photographs about my experience without really knowing where it would take me. But I did feel at the time that they were powerful images. So, the work that you're showing here is some of these very first portraits I made. Henry would have been 4 months at this time. Same with this one, pumped breast milk in a wine glass. And those, like that, your course, Leslie, Into the Fold, was the first time I'd actually ever heard the term mother artist identity. So I didn't even know that was a thing, except I was living that experience. I was feeling that. And, this is now many years later where the project has taken shape in a very different way. Looking back at these images, I'm so grateful for the time and space that I've had to make this work. I mean, oftentimes it was like in between actual paid work. I have also attended a very important residency, which is called Mothra, which is on Toronto Island. And I'll be going in a couple weeks actually for my third visit to Mothra. Mothra is an artist parent residency, and this project has also been, very much uplifted by the time that I've had there, the time that I've had with the community members, the other artist parents, Sarah Cullen, who's the founder of Mothra. And I'm just like, I mean, a body of work like this wouldn't really have anywhere to live if it wasn't for communities like yours, Leslie, like Sarah Cullen's. I feel quite lucky that, I started making this work, and then there were these places where it could be in conversation with other women and parents.
Thank you for that. And I know that I'm moving through these really quickly. I just want to give respect to they deserve so much more time. But these will all be available. I can throw them in the chat, and this is beautiful personal work that we're sharing. I just want to acknowledge that as well. So that in fact, the exhibition space you're standing in now is the result of a residency. Can you walk us through that? You won a prize, you won the
Yeah.
prize. Okay, so walk us through that residency, the folks that you worked with to get here now.
Sure. Yeah. So in June of earlier this year, I won a prize called Project XO. And Project XO is a collaborative prize between the School of Photographic Arts here in Ottawa and the Ottawa Art Gallery. And what you receive when you win this prize is a show, an exhibition. So for me, this is my first solo exhibition, which is huge for an emerging artist. You also win some money towards a digital resource center here on the Quebec side called Diamond. And so I printed some of the works here in the gallery at Diamond with their technicians. You also get some money for framing. And so, winning Project XO is a huge, it's just huge, because now I actually was able to not only, have these works, but like imagine what they were going to be like in this exhibition space. So I worked directly with the curator, Megan Ho, of the Ottawa Art Gallery. I was able to have technicians install all of this work. Because the Ottawa Art Gallery, this is an ongoing partnership with the School of Photographic Arts, there's budget to have, you work with a designer, you choose what is going to be the color scheme, how things are going to be placed, how this space behind me is going to connect with the video space down the hall. And so it has just been a very special experience and a really positive experience.
I love that. So that again also talks about your approach as an artist. Your practice seems to me like so in addition to this artist practice, Alexa, I always want to lift in your other life. You run a really robust commercial photography studio in Ottawa. You have an art collective that you work with and support other artists. You're really busy. You have 2 little children. Yesterday, for an example, in terms of her professional breadwinning practice, which is language, that's my language, not necessarily hers, but she had an open studio with other businesses in her area that are all artist, I think businesses maybe.
They're
So
both, yeah,
you're
businesses and
doing
artists. Yeah.
really big commercial projects in addition to this art practice. So I don't want to ask you that ridiculous question, like how in the world do you do it all? But I do think that towards the end of this, as you move us from that strictly more photographic practice into the materials consideration of this piece, I just want to lift that so everyone knows where I'm trying to go with this. This, and we don't have to get into it now, but as we're going through this space with Alexa, and I want to show you a couple pictures of the space here. She'll walk us through. And then I want everyone to realize what this brilliant woman has done is this show of 9 pieces can basically put into a box or an envelope the size of about a 9 by 12. This is the interactive sensory book that's under a vitrine right now. So we can't handle it, but she'll look at it. This can be put into a little box and mailed anywhere in the world, which I think is such a radical iteration, especially for the economy we're living in, this kind of capitalist structure, but also as a parent artist. This is so incredibly interesting to me that at any time anyone could take this, you could ship it at a really low cost. Because we all know as artists, most of us in the room, shipping framed things are insane. So I just want to lift that, that I think it's genius. This is just a recent artist talk picture you had, but I wanted to share the placenta pictures in the back.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to get off of my screen now. So now we kind of have that rooted. And what would you like to show us in your space? And please, folks, ask questions in the chat. I'll
So
see.
I think we should start here with
Okay.
viscera. Can you see it?
Yeah. So viscera is on the
Yeah.
wall there. Yep.
So viscera is an image that I made in the spring. So when Maya was born, when my second child was born, I had a VBAC. So it's something I really wanted. A VBAC is a vaginal birth after cesarean. After Henry's very traumatic birth, I was fairly adamant and determined that I was going to sort of have a redemptive birth where I was in full control and had full agency. I found an incredible team of midwives and a doula. And I did. I had a really wonderful, powerful birth with Maya. So part of me sort of commemorating that experience was that I took the placenta home, I kept it, I froze it, and I always had plans to work with it in some way, even though that kind of like seems insane, but it's such a special organ, and it really feels like it's like the literal cord that connects me to her and connected me to this experience that was positive. So when I found out that I had won Project XO, I thawed the placenta in the fridge. My husband was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And in the backyard, I photographed it under bright sunlight. So kind of like the sunlight that is shining on it right now. And I will bring us just a little bit closer so you can see it. But it's printed on a canvas, and it is, you can kind of see there's like these little spots of stars because of the bright sunlight shining on it. And obviously the organ, when it was thawed, was wet. I put it in black and white because I felt like it became kind of otherworldly and planetary. And there's something I think about blood and red that maybe can be off-putting for some people. So I wanted it to be like a really welcoming image. And yeah, I mean, this is like an ode to Maya. This is an ode to my body for making this organ. And it's a very, very special piece. And um, it's named after a podcast series that I always forget the name, but it was about this C-section pain in America. You might even know it, Leslie. Anyways, I'll share it. I'm gonna follow up with some like resources. But viscera literally means of the insides. And so that's why I named it viscera.
Mm. Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you.
You're good. You keep moving.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Well,
this.
should I?
I know, poor Alexa, the sun is like killing her.
It's so crazy. I mean, it's an amazing space because you get this incredible light, but I can't totally see my screen. So you just tell me if
We can see Viscera beautiful and your statement.
great.
So that's the entrance to the show. So
Yeah.
everyone knows that she's going to move around the room, and then there is a doula clay piece with a video that's outside that room down a hallway, which is where we'll end. So you can
Yeah.
go ahead and just move your way
Okay.
around. If anyone has questions, please put them in the chat.
So we'll go over to this piece. I don't know if it's better if I'm further away from it, but I think what I'll do is I'll start here and then I'll move closer as I talk.
Perfect. We can
Does this
see.
make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So this piece is called 10 centimeters, 20 hours, and it is quite literally the depiction in artistic form of Henry's birth. So Henry was born in the height of COVID 2021. I labored for 20 hours. And then he was born via an emergency unplanned C-section. So if you look at the wall, there's actually one 10-centimeter circle for every hour of labor that I was in. This piece existed in my mind for quite a while. And when I won this award and was shown the space that I had to use, it became very clear to me that I wanted it very simply in a linear format on the wall, because with labor, you know, there's a start and there's an end. Like literally once the baby is born, the contractions stop and like all of that intensity is gone. And then the actual images that are on the 10-centimeter circles are very simple domestic scenes of what my life was like with Henry in those very early months. So they show, you know, domesticity. They show the mundane repetition of taking care of a baby. They show, this is a really special piece because it was COVID. And so I was spending a lot of time with, can we see that? Yeah,
Yes.
can we see this? Yeah. Spending a lot of time with other mothers who were in the same scenario as me. So this is the famous Rideau Canal here in Ottawa, and we went for a skate because we had to gather outside. But yeah, these are like moments in time from that very first year
And
taking
Alexa,
care of Henry.
I don't think I had exactly made that connection because this is the one piece that I hadn't seen every single image up close.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is like directly pulled from that more documentary practice. So I think that's really
exactly.
interesting that they're showing it
Yeah,
this way. And then it allows you to kind of move to this more conceptual material based, which is right around the corner up on the windows, correct? The placentas.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so here, they're right
Yeah,
here.
these I find to
So
be
yeah,
really exciting. Yeah.
yeah, these are really special, and I'm just gonna make sure everybody can see them. Can you see them?
Yeah, if you just point your camera up a little, like another inch, maybe half an inch, perfect. That's perfect. Let
Yeah,
me see
perfect.
you.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, these are placenta monoprints. So again, when I thawed the placenta and I brought it out into the backyard, I kind of, you know, I only had like a few hours I could work with it because it's an organ. It doesn't like yeah, I don't want to be too gruesome, but like it doesn't smell the best. And, you know, my dog was very interested because he's like, oh, this is really
It's very
um
natural.
yeah, yeah, it's very alive. So I basically had like this little window of time that I could do something with it. And I was doing this on a weekend. So my kids were around. So I invited Henry to like do this with me. Essentially, I was like, Mommy's gonna make some art with this placenta. And he doesn't really know what it is. He's like, this is great, cool. So we went into my studio in the backyard and we used construction paper to make placenta imprints. So we just placed construction paper right over the organ and pulled it up. And then on the construction paper, you have just like this beautiful wet imprint of what it looked like. So these originated in that way. Then I scanned those construction papers to get the outline of just the placenta. And I was able to shift the background color, the background pigment, to be what I had wanted, which was this. There's a doula in the UK who posted this incredible photo called Four Shades of Birth. And it was basically a birth she attended, 4 pieces of gauze and blood at different stages of drying. So some more red, some more brown. And I pulled pigments from from that gauze with her permission. And that's how I got the 4 background colors. So it, again, very collaborative, like with a doula, with a birth worker, somebody who's caring for women giving birth. Collaboration with my son. We put sparkles on it, like the one in the top corner has sparkles. Yeah, I love these
Yeah.
pieces and they're peel and stick on the window.
I really love these pieces too because I mean this is they have a photographic quality to them as well. Like, when I didn't know what they were, I thought they were like contact prints or
Yeah,
like what do you call the vegetable prints? Not cyanotypes, but I'm losing the train of thought. What is that word? But you know what I mean, the tea stain prints, the
the tea
plant
stain
prints.
prints. Yeah.
So that has that kind of photographic reading to me as well, which I
Mhm.
think is such a beautiful bridge and especially between the work we just saw, this work, and then what do we have in the vitrine on the floor there? Now you're gonna have to move your camera.
So
Time.
yeah, so
Are you
then
all
over
having fun in this gallery tour?
I mean, I hope that everybody is
Cars are
not
going
seeing
by.
my like upper lip sweat. Can we see this?
Beautiful. Keep to pen down a little bit more.
A little
So
bit
what we're looking
more.
at is the book, which I think I shared a brief picture of. And while you're organizing, I'll just say it's Alexa's calling it a sensory book. It has sewing. You saw some of the sewing pieces starting to show up in her photographic work from her website. I believe it's felt. So
Yeah.
and then we don't see the pillows, but you can pick those up. Is that right?
Yeah, I can pick those
Okay.
up. Totally.
All right.
Yeah. So the sensory book is you can kind of see the pillows here if I show you. This is called pregnancy pillow, but I can pan out a little bit after I'm done talking about the book.
Okay.
Essentially, the handmade book is inspired by a baby sensory book, which, is sensory. So it makes noise, it crinkles, it maybe has
Alexa,
some squeaks in it, and essentially I can make it on cotton. Yes.
sorry, bring the camera
Yes.
back up because we're losing you just a little bit and maybe move back towards where you were. There you go. Just because we were losing your audio and that.
Oh, I see. I'm so sorry.
No,
Okay,
it might be a
is
Wi-Fi.
this better? The screen is pointed
Perfect.
down. Also sit. Can you see me now?
That's perfect. So you lift up
Okay.
those pillows.
Yeah. So I was just saying that the sensory book was inspired by a baby sensory book, and I wanted to use materials that I had made, so photographs printed on cotton, and I also use parchment paper. There's like curtain tassel in here. There's some of my grandmother's old fabric, and I did get a grant from the city of Ottawa to make this book, which was really special. So I showed this work at the City Hall Art Gallery earlier this year with my collective, 44.4 Mother Artist Collective. And and now it's made it into this show, which I love. And I added these pieces, which are pillows. So this is called pregnancy pillow. Can you see this?
So what we're looking at is your navel. It's like your
Yes.
okay.
Totally. Yeah, it's my belly. So I'm actually 20 months or 20 weeks pregnant with Maya here. And the pillows, the function of the pillows is really to encourage people to come down and low to the ground. So one of the things that I really wanted in this show was elements that made the show inviting for children, because gallery spaces typically aren't. And so the pillows are like a direct cue that you can come down, you can hang out. This glass piece was off for the opening, as well as the artist talk. We just passed the book around.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And then I know you're moving around a lot. What's there's another pillow there. I don't know if we saw it or another.
Yeah. So it's just called meadow pillow.
Great. Okay.
And it's just a different shape, but it is the same idea, meant for people to come sit on the ground.
So photographic images and is it correct that you were using on some of your, like, I don't want to say suture? What was the?
Yes. I signed the sensory book with surgical suture.
Surgical.
So
okay.
I was able to secure somebody I know who's a surgeon just gave me some. So surgical suture is what they would actually sew you up with. And then one interesting part of surgical suture is that there's different thicknesses depending on if you are sewing up, like a top layer of skin, or if you're sewing up something inside, which is, much more delicate, like a uterus, for example.
Yeah. Amazing. And then do you have some other photographic images on the wall behind you on the mirror and one thing while you're situating, that looks great, maybe lift up slightly. One thing that you mentioned to me earlier when you and I met was that to your best of your knowledge, this is the first time that someone who's won this prize has used the windows.
Which I thought was like kind of shocking, but I will say that it's hard as a photographer to use windows sometimes. Can you see it now? Is this better?
And so we have one, and there's a comment in the chat I'm going to try to fold into here. So just to be clear, there's a navel your tummy, and then it looks like a flora or a fauna in the in between image. I can't see what that is exactly. And then your placenta in beautiful bright color is on
Yes.
the third picture, because the comment was, I'm curious to why the artist does not challenge society's aversion to disgust around women's blood by confronting us with reality in relation to the black and white original image that you said you
Okay.
made black and
Yeah,
white. So we only have 10 minutes left in this meeting. She has
that's okay.
expressed herself. So anyways, just to something that you can, that was something that came up in a comment, but now we have the placenta
Hmm.
on the opposite wall.
Well, I can speak to that.
It's great.
Thank
It's a
you.
great, it's a
That's a
great
great, no,
observation.
it's a really, really good question. And I think about that a lot. And that's why this piece exists. So this
Yeah.
piece here, which is called Maya's placenta, is something that was made 30 minutes after I gave birth to Maya. I gave birth to Maya. I gave birth to the placenta. I sat up in my hospital bed, and with a 35 millimeter camera, I made this image.
Mhm.
So I am definitely wanting to challenge people's perceptions and the fact they don't want to see reality. And actually, Viscera in black and white is made in response to this piece
Okay.
because I want it to be seen as something real, but then also something like otherworldly and incredible. Um, and this piece, so these three pieces were originally hung at SPAL, the School of Photographic Arts, at the end of my residency.
That's right.
And it's a depiction really of both births. So, emergency C-section here, where you see my belly and the scar line. Sumac, which is sort of an ode to like a moment for me, and then
That's right.
Maya's placenta, which
That's
is
right.
really Maya's
That's right.
Maya's birth.
Yeah, I remember the sumac as she's walking through to get to the next piece. I
Yeah.
remember when we were working together, you talking about the after the first birth, walks were so important to you, and that's when you
Oh
picked
my
up the
gosh.
camera and
Yeah.
started photographing sumac and different plants, and just that was a huge part of your practice. First of all, take a breath, girl. You're doing amazing. It's a lot. We're asking you to walk around the gallery with a phone. And this piece I'm really excited about too, talking about it's
I'm like running to the next piece.
I love that
It's
people come
good.
in though to this gallery through, I think, which is an elevator embankment, and then they see this video, which is no sound. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so
There's no sound.
once you're settled, you're just
I'm
gonna kind of
wondering where
hold
the
it.
best place to put you is here.
I think just get a little closer
There
to
we
the
go.
video. Oh, you're on a tripod.
Just going to
Perfect.
be able to see this as well.
Okay, so
Okay.
what we're looking at here, y'all, is a video. I think
It's
you're
not.
dragging a little bit, Alexa. So just let me describe a video with your duelist hands, and you're going to talk about it. And then next to that is a vitrine with the clay pieces that were a result of the video. So you go ahead and take it away.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure, can you hear me or am I lagging a bit?
It's a little laggy, so keep it kind of brief, and then we'll move you back to the main gallery. But it looks great.
Okay. Okay. So basically this is a piece that was made in collaboration with my doula. And this is her hands using clay to describe to me what is going to happen to my cervix during labor. I will quickly just pan down to the piece of clay. So this clay piece is made in response to my doula's video. And it's the cervix at different space or different levels of dilation and effacing. And I added in this children's toy because I love making something playful, and I love reminding people where the work is coming from and who the work is really about, which is, I mean, it's me, but it's my relationship to my kids. I'm just going to move back over here because I'm worried that I'm lagging a bit. So I'm going to just come back here to close.
That's fine. So go maybe near the viscera was a good audio place.
Yes. Okay, great. And you know what? The sun has moved, so we can see it in a different way.
Perfect.
It's
Y'all
so
are
great.
like, we're flying by the seat of our pants, but we're doing it. So on the screen, I just have a picture of the child
Yes.
boy so people can see.
Yes, that's
Um,
great.
so so that's the whole tour of the show, which is up through
Mhm.
November 2nd. I want to be mindful that we only have 5 minutes left, if there are any questions, but what else would you like to share, Alexa? So everything can go into a 9 by 12 roughish box. How did that, I'm bogarting again, I'm taking over that thing, but how did that happen that like there's no straight photographs in a frame on a wall in this particular space? I know you worked with Megan Ho on the curation.
Yeah.
Talk about that a
I
little bit.
think, so Leslie, can you come back to me just so I can
Sure,
see myself
sure.
speaking? And I just want
There you
to,
go.
yeah, because you can kind of see Viscera in a different way right now, which is pretty exciting. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think that, oops, what's happening here?
You're good. We see you just fine.
I'm good. Okay, sorry. My screen looked funky. Um, I love being experimental in the work. I really wanted to use the space for what the space had to offer, and the space doesn't actually have a ton of walls.
Mhm.
It has one big wall, and then it has all windows, which was kind of perfect because what I came into the show already having was the 3 cotton banners, which could hang in front of windows. And what's super incredible about them, and I'll just show you them how they look right now because it's really nice, is that when light shines through them, they sort of become this new thing. I had previously only hung them in front of a window, in front of a wall. And so this kind of gives new life to these pieces. I find frames boring. I don't know. Like I don't feel inspired all the time, but looking um at an image in a square box, and I feel like so much of what I'm trying to tackle is like reinventing what photography could be, especially because as a parent, it requires me to think differently like this. So the fact that all these pieces can fit into, and I just want to correct you, a little bit bigger, 9 by 12, but it could fit into a pretty small box, and I could ship it almost anywhere in the world for not that much money. And it could like go up and be installed in other spaces. And it doesn't always have to look like this. Like these could be again on a wall. The placenta mono prints that are peel and stick on the window could be in a line on a wall. The 20 circles could easily be in a grid format. There are so many things about the show that can be reimagined for a new space, which is really exciting for me.
Yeah, it's really exciting also just for all. I think Cyan had said, love this fluid setup without frames. I know there's a few artists in the room who are looking for alternate ways to share their work, especially just like as I mentioned earlier, in the reality of this economy and also just getting the work out globally. So it just also speaks to the real kind of, you know, I don't know, the materiality that I've experienced in this space of all artists, of course, but specifically mother artists, parent artists,
Mhm.
having to do things. Um, there's this thing where traditionally in photography, it was very, very long-term projects that lasted years. But when you're actually in the weeds of something, sometimes it's a single project or it's one thing at a time or it's something small or handmade. And I just love that your work kind of combines both of those things. And I feel like you're just getting started. So with that, we only have 2 minutes left. I'm not asking you what's next because that's such a BS question. You've got everything going right now. But like, what's your wildest dream for this work, or what are you working on, or catch me?
So actually that like in a couple weeks, I will go back to Toronto Island with my daughter, Maya,
Mhm.
and we will do the MAFRA residency.
Oh,
And
excellent.
I have no idea what that will be. I think for me, it actually will be a time to digest and be with her and enjoy her. You know, some of my fondest memories with Henry were our time together there.
Yeah,
So we go on walks and I just like I take my camera and I get to be present in a way that I don't in my real life because it's so like I'm running a business and it just rushing around everywhere. So I'm just looking forward to a moment to be with my family and other artists.
amazing, amazing. And I think that's like all, unless anyone has a quick question. I think there's a few things in the chat. We only have a minute left.
Yeah, it's so nice. I wish I could go and see. I've been seeing the messages come in. Are we able to save the messages in the
Yeah, we'll
chat?
save the messages and then we'll send out a thank you and a resource doc for
Okay.
things that were mentioned here today.
Yes.
But
Oh yeah, I'd love to do that.
we're so happy to see everyone here. Alexa, you hang a minute longer, but we're so
Yes.
grateful for your time. You guys stay in
Thank
touch.
you. Thank you,
Reach out to
everyone.
us. I want to see your work. We want to see your work as well. And thank you. Patricia, great to see you. Shweta and Sayan and everyone. Thank
Taylor, my sister, I think my parents were here, which was really
Yeah,
nice.
parents. Good job, parents. I'll be interviewing you
Good
later.
job, parents.
As a parent, I want to
Amazing.
know how to do it right.
Oh, I know. So
Thank you,
nice.
everyone. Amazing. We did it in under 40. Thank you. Hey, Patricia, good to see you.
Oh, hi, Mom.